In this video, I'm going to show how you can use a right angle drive to do work on the side of a part. Okay, so in this case, we just want to cut out these three holes, but right now we're just in the XY plane, and we actually have a right angle drive, and we want to come in and cut these holes in the, let's see, the YZ plane. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just turn my geometry. I'm just going to turn this into the YZ plane. Okay, and that's really important to do. And the next thing I'm going to do is I like to do everything in 3D. So I'm going to come over here and make a cylinder and make this a little bit bigger here. We'll go ahead and make this say 500 and 350. Okay, so there's a cylinder right there. And the part that we're working on is kind of like, it's almost like a spindle on a machine tool or something. I'm not too sure. So we just want to machine kind of a flat on the side and then drill these three holes. I think we're actually going to bore these three holes. Okay, so let's go ahead and place our cylinder down a little bit. We'll say add an offset, and then we're just going to move it down in Z, like negative 250, and we'll go ahead and leave it in the center like this. Okay, so we just moved it down in Z. Okay, so now let's go ahead and come back over here to the sketch, and we're going to move in the x-axis our three holes there. Let's go ahead and move it to say, let's do 150 millimeters. Okay, and actually I just paused the video there for a second and figured out that because we've already rotated our plane here, we're actually moving in Z because it's all relative to the plane that we're on. So we're going to move 150 millimeters in Z, and now you can see that our plane is kind of out over this way a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and just hide our cylinder here for a second. And I'm going to make a little box around our holes. Okay, so we're just going to create a rectangle, do two-corner rectangle, something like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and extrude that. So I come over here and I select extrude. I'll just grab that, and I'm going to tell it that we do not want to find these islands. Oops, no, leave it on new. So in the chain, we tell it we don't want to find the islands. Okay. So if I overlay that on top of our cylinder here, we can see we get something like that, and we're actually going to go up something like that. Okay. And then instead of extrude new, we're going to change it over to subtract. Okay, so then we get something kind of like that. And I'm going to go ahead and change the from. We're going to drop it down into it a little bit. We'll go 25 millimeters into it, just so we have kind of a larger flat space there. Okay. Okay, so now really our CAD geometry is ready to be used here. So now we're going to come over here to our cycle on center. And since we have this oriented in the machine the way that it is right now, we're not going to change our working origin, right? Because our 0 is going to be in the center of this. But we just want to work on those sides. So our working origin is going to stay the same. But our working face, that face that we're going to work on, is this face right here. Okay? And so now, if I come over here and I uncomment my cycle on center, you can see that the holes are in, we're going to drill, we're going to do these operations on these three holes here. And then I can also simulate that. I've got kind of a weird looking tool. But it is following exactly what we're looking for. So that would work, and that would just basically, instead of interpolating Z down, how we normally would for a boring operation, it's going to interpolate X over and just bore out these three holes. Okay, hope that helps.